Have you ever wondered why Japan, a country known for its technological advancements and efficient workforce, has been facing economic stagnation for decades? It's a question that's puzzled economists and global observers alike. A nation that's a titan in technology, a frontrunner in efficiency, yet its economy seems stuck in quicksand. The juxtaposition is as fascinating as it is perplexing. So what's the story behind this economic enigma? Let's delve into the history of Japan's economy to understand this puzzling phenomenon. To understand the current stagnation, we need to first understand Japan's post-war economic miracle. In the ashes of the Second World War, Japan emerged as an economic powerhouse, pulling off what many have termed an economic miracle. So how did this miraculous transformation occur? The post-war era was a time of unprecedented growth for Japan, driven by a confluence of factors. At the heart of this economic miracle was technological innovation. Japan's industries embraced modern technology with vigor, rapidly advancing in fields like electronics, automobiles, and shipbuilding. This technological prowess not only boosted domestic production, but also positioned Japan as a global market contender. But technological innovation was not the only key to Japan's remarkable ascent. Government policy also played a crucial role. The Japanese government pursued a strategy of export-led growth, bolstered by policies that promoted industrial development. With a focus on high savings rates and investment in infrastructure, the government laid the groundwork for a thriving economy. Another critical factor was the dedication and discipline of the Japanese workforce. The Japanese people, fueled by a cultural ethos of hard work and perseverance, were resolute in their commitment to rebuilding their nation. The lifetime employment system, which provided job security and promoted loyalty, contributed significantly to the productivity of the workforce. Moreover, Japan's unique management practices and techniques, such as just-in-time manufacturing and Kaizen for continuous improvement, were revolutionary. These practices not only enhanced efficiency, but also set new global standards in quality and production. But let's not forget the role of foreign aid. The United States, aiming to rebuild Japan as a bulwark against communism, provided significant financial assistance. This aid was instrumental in jump-starting Japan's economy and paving the way for its future success. This rapid economic growth, fueled by technological innovation, sound government policies, a dedicated workforce, and foreign aid, propelled Japan to the forefront of the global economy. By the 1980s, Japan had become the world's second-largest economy. However, this miraculous growth couldn't continue forever. The late 1980s marked the end of Japan's economic boom with the bursting of the asset price bubble. It was a time of intense euphoria, when the nation's wealth seemed unstoppable. But even as the party was in full swing, the clock was ticking, counting down to a financial earthquake that would shake Japan to its core. The asset price bubble was a financial phenomenon, a product of overinvestment in real estate and stocks. Real estate prices soared to dizzying heights, with the value of a small patch of Tokyo real estate surpassing the entire value of California at one point. The stock market, too, was on a wild ride, with the Nikkei index reaching unprecedented levels. But such growth was not sustainable. It was fueled by speculation and a frenzy of buying, rather than solid economic fundamentals. The Bank of Japan, alarmed by the skyrocketing asset prices, decided to tighten its monetary policy. Interest rates were raised, making borrowing more expensive and slowing down the pace of investment. It was like pricking a balloon. The bubble burst and asset prices plummeted, stocks and real estate values tumbled, leaving behind a trail of bankruptcies and financial ruin. Banks were left holding a mountain of bad loans, with their borrowers unable to pay them back. The financial system was in shambles and the economy was in free fall. But the impact of the bubble burst was not confined to the financial sector. It rippled through the entire economy, causing a severe contraction. Unemployment spiked, and consumer confidence plunged. Japan, which had once been seen as an unstoppable economic powerhouse, was now in the throes of a severe recession. The fallout from the bubble burst was not just a short-term shock. It set the stage for a prolonged period of economic stagnation, a period that came to be known as the Lost Decade. It was a time of minimal growth and persistent deflation, a time when Japan's economy seemed stuck in a quagmire, unable to break free. The bubble burst set the stage for a period of economic stagnation known as the Lost Decade. The 1990s, often referred to as the Lost Decade, was a period of economic stagnation for Japan. This era was a stark contrast to the country's previous economic miracle, and it left many perplexed. But what exactly led to this drastic shift? The most prominent factor was deflation. Following the burst of the economic bubble, Japan faced a persistently falling price level. This deflationary spiral, where a decrease in prices leads to lower production, which in turn leads to lower wages and demand, further decreasing prices, was a vicious cycle that Japan seemed unable to break. Simultaneously, Japan's population was aging rapidly. This demographic shift placed an enormous strain on the country's finances. With fewer young people entering the workforce and more elderly citizens requiring social security, the balance of the economy was disrupted. The aging population also led to a decrease in consumer demand, which further fueled deflation and stagnation. High public debt was another hurdle. To stimulate the economy, the government invested heavily in public works projects. However, these efforts were largely unsuccessful, leading to an increase in public debt without the desired boost in economic growth. In response to these challenges, the government attempted several strategies to kickstart the economy. They implemented zero-interest rate policies and quantitative easing, aiming to increase inflation and stimulate demand. However, these policies failed to produce the desired results. The economy remained stagnant and Japan found itself in a state of liquidity trap, where monetary policies have little effect on stimulating economic activity. The reasons behind the lost decade are complex and multifaceted. It's a tale of economic policies gone awry, demographic shifts, and a world changing faster than a country can adapt. It's a stark reminder that even the strongest economies can falter if they don't adapt to changing circumstances. Despite efforts to revive the economy, Japan has struggled to regain its former economic glory. The lost decade wasn't just a period of economic stagnation, it was an era that fundamentally changed Japan's economic landscape. Fast forward to today and Japan's economy continues to battle the same issues. The land of the rising sun, once a shining beacon of economic prowess, now finds itself in the throes of persistent economic stagnation. The problems that plagued it in the past are far from resolved, and some have even intensified. One of the most persistent issues is deflation. Imagine a scenario where prices are constantly falling. Sounds great, right? Well, not quite. In reality, this is a clear sign of an economy in distress. Deflation discourages spending and investment as people and businesses hold on to their money, hoping that goods will be cheaper tomorrow. This creates a vicious cycle, further dampening economic activity. For Japan, the fight against deflation has been a long and arduous one with limited success. The second major issue is the country's aging population. Japan is home to one of the world's oldest populations. With more people retiring and fewer joining the workforce, the burden on the economy grows. While the government has attempted to offset this through immigration and encouraging women in the workforce, the problem persists. And then we have public debt. Japan's debt is over 2 times its gross domestic product, one of the highest in the world. Much of this debt was accumulated during attempts to kickstart the economy post the bubble burst. While this might not be an immediate issue due to Japan's unique situation where the majority of its debt is domestically held, it does limit the government's ability to invest in future growth. So why does this matter? Because Japan's economic journey offers valuable lessons. It serves as a stark reminder that economic miracles can be fleeting, and that the road to recovery post a bubble burst can be long and fraught with challenges. Japan's economic stagnation is a complex issue with no easy solutions. But it's a story that needs to be told, a story that needs to be heard, because in understanding there is learning, and in learning, there is growth. And isn't that what economics is all about? So what can we learn from Japan's economic stagnation? We've journeyed through Japan's post-war economic miracle, the dizzying heights of the asset bubble and the gut-wrenching burst that ensued. We've walked through the so-called lost decade, a period of stagnation and deflation that stretched far beyond 10 years. We've surveyed the present scenario, a seemingly unending struggle to regain economic vitality. The story of Japan's economy is one of extraordinary growth, followed by a prolonged period of stagnation. It's a story that underlines the importance of sustainable economic policies. The rapid expansion of the economy in the second half of the 20th century was impressive, but it was built on shaky foundations. When the asset bubble popped, the economy was left exposed, leading to a prolonged period of stagnation. Moreover, Japan's experience serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of asset price bubbles. These bubbles can create an illusion of wealth and prosperity, but when they burst, as they inevitably do, they can cause immense economic damage. The fallout can be long-lasting, as Japan's experience clearly demonstrates. In conclusion, Japan's economic stagnation offers valuable lessons for other economies. It's crucial to ensure that economic growth is sustainable and not built on the shaky foundations of an asset bubble. While Japan's economic stagnation may seem like a problem unique to Japan, it serves as a cautionary tale for economies around the world.